Tonight, I want to talk about heightism and the reason that so many women feel that it's acceptable and okay to belittle a man for something he has absolutely no control over. You're tuning in for those in the cheap seats. Now, I'm going to tell you about something that happened to me not too long ago. Let me preference this by saying that the young woman that said this to me is by no means trying to be disrespectful to me or even be offensive. We were joking around and this was a playing scenario. So I'm not gonna set this up as if some mean woman came up to me and flung heightism at me. What happened was I was told that if I was a real man, I would be taller. Now, when she said this to me, she was joking, but I want to focus on the perception of how did she think that was okay to even say, even in a joking manner. It's so embedded in the psychology of women that a man should be tall that they don't even understand that heightism is prejudicious. You cannot be prejudiced towards something people have no control over. That's like being prejudiced towards a person's complexion, being prejudiced towards a person's ethnic background, being prejudiced towards the fact that somebody has melanin and you like pigmentation. See, these are things that people don't have control over. And so when you're being prejudiced in that form, what you're basically being is a bigot. It's the very definition of being bigoted towards someone. You're being a bigot for no reason at all, especially over something they cannot control. A man is born with his height. He cannot change that. So if you were not bestowed with the gift of height, then you cannot change it. Unlike women who, if they gain weight, they can lose weight. Or if they're not as attractive as a woman that's maybe on the scale of an 8 or a 9, they maybe can dress themselves up, fix their hair a little better, wear, nice clothing, form-fitting clothing that can show off their figure a little bit more. Women can do these things to appeal more attractive. It might not be a vast improvement, but it can be an improvement. However, a man's height is something he can never improve unless he wears stacked shoes, I guess, or high heels like Prince did. But most men are not going to do anything like that because men, for the most part, accept their shortcomings, pun intended. I'm 5'7", and that's 2 inches below average height. So I will be the first to admit I am a short man. I'm a short guy. I have no issues with that because my height has never stopped me from attracting women that I find attractive, and it's reciprocal. They find me attractive as well. I do like a certain height on a woman. I don't like a woman that's too tall, and I don't like a woman that's too short. I like a woman that's maybe I'm about 4 inches taller than. And let me say this, for all intents and purposes, I think that when women are choosing a man to be with and they're looking at his height as a consideration, I go by the old standard that the nation follows. Most women should be about 4 to 5 inches shorter than their male counterpart. And I know a lot of women do this nonsense about wearing heels, 4-inch heels, and they don't want to be taller than their guy when they put on heels. Stop wearing heels. And by the way, stilettos were made by a gay Italian man or French man, I believe. I have to look it up and see which one he was. But you're wearing shoes that were not even invented by a female. And then you're going to men and saying that when I put on these heels that were not even invented by a female, I still want you to be at least 4 to 5 inches taller than me. So now we're adding 4 inches on top of being 4 inches taller. So now we're in an absurd range of 8 inches taller than a person. So in other words, if you have a woman that's 5'2", she wants a man that's 6 feet tall. How absurd is that? You're freaking 5'2". You're a midget yourself. The average height for most women is 5'4". I'm 5'7", so I'm almost 4 inches taller than most women, and yet they still say that I am a short guy when I'm looking at the top of their heads. This is complete nonsense. This is the propaganda that women have been fed a steady diet of, that you need a guy that's tall, dark, and handsome. And yet when men turn around and say they have standards of beauty, they have standards of attractiveness, they say you can't have those standards, they're unfair to women. Well, what is heightism? Isn't heightism unfair to a guy that's 5'7" or a guy that's 5? I have women even saying that a guy that's 5'9" or 5'10" is short. It's become so ridiculous that women who are 5'2" will tell a guy that's 5'10" that he's short and he's literally looking down on the top of her head. Come on, man. Y'all ladies, get out of here with this nonsense. The standard should be, if you're 5'4", your guy should be 5'8". If you're 5'8", you should have a 6 feet tall guy, because that guy's about 4 inches taller than you. Even when you put on heels, you'll probably be the same height. I suggest that if you have an issue with that, don't wear stilettos. Don't wear 4-inch or 6-inch heels, or 4-inch heels. And you know it's an artificial height inflation, right? You're not that tall. When you put on 4-inch pumps and you become 5'8", if you're 5'4", it's still a pseudo height at that time, because when you go home and take them off, you go back down to 5'4". So women, please stop this nonsense that you need a guy that's 6 feet tall and you're 5'4" just so you can put on a pair of heels that were invented by a man. Cut it out. You're Xing men out of the market that should not be X out of the market from you because of height. And a lot of times it doesn't even have anything to do with the way the guy looks. It's simply that he's not tall enough for a short woman. Get the out of here. Man, that's all I got tonight. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll catch y'all on the next.
Like Jesus.